government when
We've always, there are a number of items that we pay directly out of our trust fund rather than paying them in 20. We pay everything that deals with disabilities through the budget unit, through the trust fund for primarily, I think, confidentiality reasons. We don't have to send all that information to the auditor. We can just send the cover sheet that we get from Tony. And then others are just more, we use budget unit 20 for expenses that we kind of need the county's help on. The payroll, we didn't want to open up our own payroll system with an outside vendor, so we're using that's the easiest way to say it. We use budget unit 1920 as a convenience, and whatever would be more difficult for us to handle in-house, we pay through budget unit 1920. And then the ones that are like a quarterly payment that is easy for us to handle in-house through our investment, Dodge & Cox and Bradford and Bank of New York, that type of thing, where it's a quarterly payment, and again, it's easy to track. We pay them in-house. They are not covered by they're not under the 1800s of 1%. Anything that we pay to dealing with investments, the actuarial report, anything we pay to our custodial bank are not covered in the 1800s of 1%. So we've separated that large group, and that's not covered. That's not listed here by report. We keep those completely separate from the tracking of the 1800s to 1%. And they're excluded from the 1800s to 1% by the government code. We're specified that you do not have to include them in that 1800s. So we just developed a system of keeping them separate.
But there's no reason why we couldn't put it within the budget for disclosure purposes.
Well, we wouldn't want to put anything dealing with a disability through the budget, because I think in the detail we have to provide the audit.
But I mean the retirement audit.
That could be. I'm not sure what purpose it would serve, but it could be. I think driver reliant is one that would not be covered by the 1800 to 1%. You have to look at the government code on that. I'm not exactly sure. It's just a system that developed over the years to track things included in the 1800 to 1% and not included.
Is there a motion to accept the retirement administrator's report?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Investments.
Investment reports, you may have received a new page. I apologize, it's in December 31st, 2008, in the top of one of the pages, issued in January 30th, 2009. Just beginning with the front page, this says comparison of cost and market value for Mendocino County Retirement Association. Oh, wait,
Yeah, take the place of the one that said December.
this is just correcting the date. And
yeah, everything else is the same.
A couple of things I wanted to draw your attention to on the comparison of cost and market value for Mendocino County Retirement Association. First, under the small cap value, you'll see that the mainstay funds that were the proceeds that were derived by selling our shares in mainstay are now showing up as in Vanguard. Bottom line, it's getting to be kind of a tired old story, but if you look at column F, your monthly change, there's a $10.8 million reduction in the assets. And kind of moving over to column B, that brings us to a market value, current market value of $229,453,532 for a loss from June 30 this fiscal year of $81,459,396. I think this is going to be particularly relevant as we go through the conversation later on the actuarial report. And experience study, because as you'll all recall, the actual report was in June 30, 2008, and as the board deliberates today and makes recommendations to the board of supervisors on rates for next year, we'll keep bringing your attention back to the fact that we lost $81 million since that report. The actual, turning the next page, I believe the Mendocino County Employees Retirement Association, the financial statement. A couple of things to just bring to your attention on this is that you'll see the cash general reserve at $15 million. As you'll recall, when the board approved moving to or opening up an account with PIMCO and moving dollars to PIMCO, part of the board's action was to take $5 million in cash and then to also work with Dodge and Cox to move dollars from Dodge and Cox over to PIMCO until they held roughly the same amount of assets. So that $15 million in cash will be reduced by $5 million. We're looking at a wire transfer probably today, where we begin moving those dollars. Also along those same lines, just to keep you informed, is that we've been working closely with Dodge and Cox. It looks as if we're going to be able to, in addition to this $5 million, raise $16 million for transfer today, for a total of $21 million. We're going to continue to work closely with them. The direction of the board is trying to minimize any realized losses as a result of the reallocation of those assets to reduce the risk associated with just having the one primary vendor or investor. Once we get to the past today, the $16 million transfer, we really get into the predominance of the Dodge and Cox, remaining of their holding is in corporate bonds, where they're less easily moved without realizing a pretty significant loss. So it may take more time to balance out those fixed income assets between Dodge and Cox and PIMCO than anticipated. But again, it's our understanding for the board's direction that we do want to minimize those realized losses as we go through that reallocation process. Other items quickly on this, the retirees insurance account, we're trying to bring your attention to that. That's down below the 5,000 account for the miscellaneous at $7.8 million. Just dropping down again, the gain on sale of equities is $73.50 account. You'll see the loss in there from Vanguard. The one thing that I did note on this, and as we finalize for, we give you a final report for January 30th, January 31st, excuse me, is that we do have a new account, $57.50 for withholding of retirees, their share of the retiree health account. And Tim, I'm not certain that is showed up on.
One of the accounts is in and out
during
the month, so it'll never have a balance here. What I think we're going to do is show it on this report. We should have the next column that will show you what was deducted from retirees' check to cover the $56.40, I think it is, that they're paying, that the under 65.
96.
I'm sorry, $96.40 that the retirees under, who are not covered by Medicare are paying for their health insurance. So that'll be a separate column on this report. Because on this report, it's because of our accounting procedures, it's into that account and right back out of it into the account that we pay the claims out.
Is everyone current on that, or the retirees?
We set deductions, I believe, from everyone.
So it's set